Welcome to the mobile studios of Sparks 1524 Travelogue. I'm Nathaniel Miller. There's an old song that says, or sings, you get your kicks on Route 66. Route 66 was, for about half a century, known as America's Main Street. Running from Chicago, Illinois, all the way through to Santa Monica, California, this was one of the major arteries of East and West economic and social interchange until the advent of the interstate system in the 1950s rendered it, well, not obsolete, but largely decommissioned. Today, several states maintain large sections of Route 66 under the rubric Historic Route 66, so you can still drive a good bit of it, and all these sections are generally maintained to look like they did somewhere between the 1930s and 50s. So not only do you get some really wonderful kitschy Americana that's just fun to see, you get an idea of what life was like for our predecessors when automobile travel and mass mechanized travel was just in its infancy. Route 66 has a lot of places you can stop off of and learn a great deal about local history, and I recommend you do. One of these places is Kingman, Arizona. Kingman was founded, or really kind of was established in 1882, and it started life as a small little hamlet that was a railroad siding, effectively. It has since grown, and today is the county seat of Mojave County in the state of Arizona. Now, Kingman has several great museums to go to. The first one I would recommend is the Route 66 Museum, which is housed in the Powerhouse. The Powerhouse is the first reinforced concrete industrial building in all of Arizona, and it was the power plant for the area until the Hoover Dam took over in 1938. Today, the Powerhouse houses not just the Route 66 Museum, but also the Kingman Visitor Center, and that's a great resource to go to if you're new to the area and not really sure where to go, what to see, or how to see it. Once you're done there, head over to the Mojave Museum of History and Art. This is a wonderful small museum, and it tells the history of Mojave County beautifully, from prehistory and the native peoples through ranching, mining, World War II into the present day. As a fun feature, they also have a Hall of Presidents, which features commissioned portraits of all the presidents and first ladies, and they are from President Washington all the way to President Trump, and they are currently raising money to commission the portraits of President and Mrs. Biden. You have two choices when you leave Kingman, especially if you're heading east. You can either get back onto I-40 and zip along, or you can take a couple hours and drive a stretch of historic Route 66. This will take you through towns like Seligman, here to Williams, Arizona, where I happen to be right now. And again, you'll get an idea of what travel was like before the interstate. I always recommend doing things like that, not just because it does enable, getting off the beaten path, getting off the interstate, taking these smaller roads is not just a good way to learn a little history, but a great way to appreciate the life we have today. When you think about how people traveled, it just barely 100 years ago now, not even that. These people were trucking along without air conditioning. Windows were down. There was no radio, no CD players, no DVD players. And yes, there are DVD players in cars now. Please have one in your back seat for the passengers, not in the front seat. That is too distracting. I personally don't like driving for long stretches without music. Well, 100 years ago when Route 66 was getting started, there were no iPods, no MP3 players. Coming up soon will be the Grand Canyon, and then we'll be moving on to Albuquerque. And yes, I will make a left turn in Albuquerque, as Bugs Bunny would say. Thank you for your time as always. I look forward to seeing you soon, and in the meantime, go and do great things.